What did you think of the All Big 12 picks regarding your guys?
I thought every coach is going to be disappointed a little bit because I thought Marcus deserved to be better than 13, but I thought, yeah, I was happy for our guys. I was happy that they got the individual recognition. Happy for Dot making first team unanimously. So obviously he, Dot, and Butler were the three premier players in our league according to the unanimous selections. And really happy for Udoka after 4 years to have it culminate the way it did, and really happy for Marcus because I do believe he is what he earned, and then Ochai getting some recognition, and Christian getting some recognition is good too. So I thought it was pretty fair, to be honest with you.
Hey, Coach, after you guys played, Joe Lenardi went on ESPN and said you guys are the lock as the #1 overall seed in the tournament. Just curious how you feel about that and how you're approaching this weekend.
I don't feel anything based on what Joe said. I do think that Joe has a good handle on this, but I don't know exactly what's being talked about in the room, and probably nor does anyone else. But yeah, I think that Joe could be accurate in that but I will disagree with what he said. Regardless, I think we put ourselves in a position maybe to be that, but we who knows what'll happen, who will get hot or whatever. So to me, that is not a huge deal one way or another, but it does put us in a good position, I believe, to be a 1 seed.
Possible matchup on Thursday. You got one team that may bring a lot of people in Iowa State, another team in Oklahoma State that has been up and down, but occasionally plays really, really good. Can you talk about those?
Yeah. Well, Iowa State, it seems like, I don't know how big Ames is population-wise, but it seems like a third or half of it always comes to Kansas City when they play in a tournament. They support their team in a way that is pretty impressive. Even when we played them last year in the finals, I would still say they had the majority of the building, even in that game. So to your point, you're exactly right. That they'll be supported if they play us Thursday, and then if they don't, we'll play a team that, to your point, when they have been good, they have been great. What they did to Texas, I haven't seen the game yet, but Texas is one of the hottest teams in our league, and they handle them quite easily in Austin, and we know they can shoot, and we know that McGriff is a matchup problem for just about anybody, and Likely's as good a guard as there is around, and one of the best in our league. So yeah, they're capable. Both teams are capable, but either one, it'll be a hard game. It always is.
I was wondering the other day what were your thoughts after you lost to Baylor at home that night, the next day, about your team and where it was headed and what it could still be? Remember?
God, we've had how many games since then? I would say that obviously we were all down. I was probably down, and I probably thought at that moment that we put ourselves, even though it's way too early on the league race, but we put ourselves in a position where we could not stub our toe. We knew Baylor was good, and after seeing them firsthand, I didn't see them helping us, which they didn't, until the very end after we tied it up. So I thought that from the league race standpoint, we would be it'd be hard for us to win it, and we'd have to not stub our toe and win at Baylor to have a chance. That's what I thought. And then, but from a team standpoint, there's early January is too early to make any determination on where you're headed or where you'll end up. There was still a lot of things that we had to correct, and we were playing different lineup. We were playing big. We haven't really given ourselves to be the best version of who we could be, and at least at that point in time. So I knew that our best ball was still ahead of us.
Yeah, and along those same lines, I mean, during that run when you couldn't stub your toe and all of that, I mean, did you ever see these guys panic? I mean, we've seen teams in the past where, you know, a 5-minute stretch just kind of unravels and
Yeah.
and they panic.
Oh, I think we probably have some, but it probably just wasn't as evident because somehow we got lucky and got by with it. You know, we didn't handle, obviously, Villanova well down the stretch.
Yeah.
And so, but the other games, you know, even the other day, I didn't think we executed great, but we still, you know, I read CJ's piece this morning, but we still scored like 4 of the last 5 possessions, even though we didn't execute great. So I think a lot of it is the guys find a way to make big plays at the right time, and most of them are individual plays that change games. I think that's the one thing that I've seen as much as anything is I don't think we've always played great, but we had some individuals make some great plays, such as Texas Tech, that gave us a chance to win.
Coach, one big aspect of the conference success was the huge turnaround in the conference road record. Could you address what your guys did to put up that road record and what, how that makes you feel for what they accomplished?
Well, yeah, you know, winning, you know, you always think if you could hold serve at home and go 500 on the road, you've had a great year. I mean, so, and we came close to holding serve, we didn't totally, but to go 9-0 in the league, and then in 11 road games this year, I think the most anybody hung on us was 62 in their building. I was told that. So that's the reason. If somebody scores 60 points against you, the worst it can be is a close game, you know, more than likely. So at least we put ourselves in positions to be in every game. Where in the past, I'm not sure, you know, we've had really good road teams here. Last year wasn't one of them. But the year before, if I'm not mistaken, we win the league and lost 2 games at home. And I think we may have gone 6-3 or 7-2 on the road. So we've had good road teams before, but the way that we did it by the one consistent denominator was guard and rebound. And I think it is the real reason why we won. I don't think it was offensive execution.
Beyond the obvious of just winning the whole thing this week, what would you say you guys have to play for?
I think momentum. You know, if you lace them up, you might as well win. I mean, if you're going to play, you might as well win. At least that's the way that everybody looks at it, not just us. Everybody looks at it that way. And kids are competitive. I get a kick out of it. Well, you know, guys may not play as hard if you don't need it as much. Well, if that's the case, then you probably don't have the guys you wish you had. So in our case, I know we'll go over there and try. Doesn't mean we're going to play great, but I'd like to see us be jacked. I'd like to see us validate the regular season in the postseason. I'd like to see those things, but I also know that as soon as the last game is over, whenever that is, nobody will be talking about the Big 12 tournament again. Everybody will be focused on the NCAA tournament.
Bill, your team has been so efficient in shooting inside the arc and is so good defensively at defending inside the arc that you've actually beat teams when you're not making threes and they are. Just talk about that and your team's defense heading into the tournaments.
Well, that's the one thing that I wish that I could change is I wish that, you know, you knew going in that we're a team to make 6 to 9 threes a game. You know, that would be such a bonus. But on the flip side of that, we don't take near as many threes as what other people take too, because we do get the ball, try to get the ball to the paint. But you know, it doesn't bode well if a team makes 13, you make 3. So when we talked to the team about, we've got to do a good job of running them off the line. And against Tech, we didn't do a great job because they got 28 off, or 26 off. But if we can make people play inside the arc, and they make us play inside the arc, then I think that we could have an advantage, obviously, because of Doak, and we got a couple of guys that can quick drive the ball.
Does the road success you guys have had this year, does that give you more confidence heading into the postseason? Does that give players more confidence, you think?
Yeah, I would think so. You know, there's not going to be any more road games or any more home games. You know, once we get past this weekend, because this weekend you could say maybe we could have a little bit of a home court advantage. Well, that'll go away. And I think when you're rated high, a lot of times if the game's close in the NCAA tournament, the majority of the people in the building that's not a KU fan would certainly pull for the underdog, or the upset, so to speak. So, you know, I don't see how it could hurt us. I think it should bode well, and I think it does give me confidence knowing that, you know, we've had some teams here that you knew that we would get a great effort, and you knew that you would probably have a great chance to win because you knew our crowd would be so good and get guys jacked to play. I don't think this team needs that as much, so at least I hope not. You haven't so far.
You mentioned Isaiah the other day down in Lubbock, just needing to get him
Yeah.
going again. What are you seeing from him? I mean, is he getting the looks he wants? Or?
I don't know, maybe a little rushed. You know, the way that we play isn't probably always the best for him because we're not a team that runs a lot of stuff just to get him a shot. We're a team that tries to set up driving angles and he can play off somebody else's penetration. So you know, his presence on the court helps us even if he's not making shots, but he's a guy that you know, if he shoots 5, he needs to make 2. And if he does that, then that little difference right there, I think, changes who we are and certainly makes people defend us differently.
Do you see more minutes for guys like Tristan and Silvio in the Big 12 tournament?
You know, I'd like to shoot for sure to be able to play them both. Tristan more and play Silvio, yeah, for sure. So I do hope that's the case. I'm not gonna make any bold predictions, but I think that would be best for our team. So I think you could probably anticipate us at least attempting to do that.
This is Doak's first Big 12 tournament. Do you think he'll be extra motivated?
How about, I did not realize that. How about that? 4 years and first time he's been able to play in a tournament. So, I don't know. I would think he'd be extra motivated in large part because what happened yesterday. That you know, to me, that was really cool what happened yesterday. And I thought that we had 2 players equally deserving of the award. Dot, to me, deserved it. I wish there had been a because I thought they both kind of separated themselves at the end. But the fact that Doak was the coach's choice, I think we should all be happy for him, and I know it meant an awful lot to him considering all the heartache he's had since he's been here. To think that staying here 4 years was definitely worth it. You know, and that's a great lesson to a lot of folks. You know, you persevere, you gotta hang around, and give yourself the best chance, and great things can happen, and certainly that happened for him.
Just on that, Dotson's happy for him. It looks like he tweeted that out. I mean, you would
I
expect
don't
that,
follow.
right?
I don't follow our guys
don't?
tweeting.
You don't?
We have a department that does that now. So,
Well, I can tell you he did.
we didn't have the department back when Tyshawn was here, so but we do now. So yeah, I'm sure he'll be happy for him. You know, here's the thing that's cool to me, and whatever, because to me, that you guys know, I've been around and we've had enough guys get awarded. It doesn't mean much to me, but it does mean something in their history, looking back at their experience and that stuff. But you know, Dot made first team All-American Bleacher Report today. I don't know if you guys saw that, so or yesterday, whenever it came out. So, you know, to me, that's pretty cool. Doak didn't make that. Doak made second team. So the fact that you have both those guys being recognized like that, I think is great.
Have you ever had a team where like 2 guys are kind of inseparable and you can't really distinguish sometimes who's better?
Yeah, when we had Marcus and Markeith, they were hard to distinguish apart. From a postseason award standpoint, I don't know that we've had anything like this before. You know, it was Frank, then it was Devontae, or it was Mook, or you know, it could have been whoever. We could have had that if Joel stayed healthy. You know, we had Joel and Wiggs, but no, we haven't had probably anything like this before.
Anything else? Yes. Hey, Bill, we talked last week.